Hello and welcome to Threat Hunting with Molly, where if it doesn't scare the crap out of your CEO or keep you up at night, it's probably not worth hunting for. So thanks for joining in. Today we're going to look at a sample from about a year ago, but I thought it was particularly interesting and worth taking a look. It involves iExplorer, ActiveX, PowerShell, and steganography. All right. Because, well, Steggy looks cute. Okay, Steggy's adorable. All right, so here we go. This was a malicious HTML page that had ActiveX, that when you enabled it, it would run PowerShell on your machine. And by the way, it still works. I used it on an updated Windows 10 machine. So as long as you could convince your user to activate ActiveX, this would be effective. It was also hosted originally on a job lure site. So quick hunt, if you're just jumping in to take a look, you're going to look for these MITRE techniques, Commandline Interface, specifically PowerShell, where the parent image is iExplorer. So to think about that again, you're looking for anytime Internet Explorer is running PowerShell. All right, so definitely something to look for. Now for the rest of us, let's hop in and take a look at some logs. All right, let's start out with the PCAP. Now, the PCAP for this one wasn't terribly interesting, and I'll tell you why. It's mostly because it's a stale sample. So we can take a look at what happened and just get a feel for it. So the first thing we noticed, now I want to tell you that this was loaded locally. So I downloaded the malicious web page with the exploit code and just opened that code in Internet Explorer. So now that particular code called out to local update careers 2. You can see the spoof of the career job site. All right, run some JavaScript. Now, ideally, what the code is trying to do, and we will see in a second, is it's trying to download a image file. And because it's an old code, that image file didn't exist anymore. But let's follow the trail here and take a look. So our sysmon logs should show something, and they most certainly do. So that little fella ran, right? We can see the parent is iExplorer. We can see that in a different way, but it is the parent process, and that's how it would show up. We can see it running command, cmd.exe, and then here's the PowerShell command. And so the PowerShell command here is just in base 64, so we should probably clean that up to see what it was trying to do. And all right. Okay, so here it is. Let me clean this up just a little bit for us. That's much better. So that is our PowerShell command. One thing you'll notice that's different is that it's dealing with a bitmap, So it's downloading apple.ping and that particular bitmap. And then we see some maybe math things going on. We see it referencing pixels, and that's because this is using steganography. So what it's trying to do is download this ping image, and inside the ping is possibly something malicious. Now, doing some online research, we can see what actually happened with the malicious code and what came out of the file. And let's scroll up a little bit. That one. There we go. That's the one that we saw, right? Something very local, very interesting. This one's banana instead of apple. But what it does is it hides the data inside the pixels. Cool stuff. Read about it. So you can hide little insignificant amounts of data in the RGB value of the ping, or the bitmap in this case, pull it out, decode it. And in this case, it had a second stage downloader. So if that file was actually still Viable, what we would have seen in sysmon was PowerShell run again, and it would have ran this. Okay, and then it would have run, in this case, it actually ran a third script. So we can see right here, we're trying to do things fileless. With the exception of that image file, nothing else has hit the machine. So this is all happening in memory. And if you want to look into it a little more, it's a backdoor. Okay, so it's going to be getting, well, just like a Trojan, right? It's going to get commands and fill them out and do all those kinds of good things. So again, this is a fileless attack where it was all staged, or at least 2/3 of it, from steganography and memory. Absolutely terrifying and just super interesting. Okay, so what do we know? Our TTPs in this case, initial access, phishing or social engineering, perhaps a little bit of both. Execution pathway, we've got iExplore to command to PowerShell. It's pretty malicious. You're hardly ever going to see that. And you use steganography. So if you were looking for this, you might have gone and noticed an image file come down and thought, maybe not a big deal. But when you wrap that together with PowerShell, running from Internet Explorer shortly beforehand, then we start to have something more interesting. So I want to thank you so much for checking out Threat Hunting with Molly, where if it doesn't keep you up at night or scare the shit out of your CEO, it's probably not worth looking for. If you like these little things to help you hunt and help us all get rid of more malware, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Also, if you have hunts, put them in the comments. If you have questions, if you're not sure how to get to the files that I post, all that is welcome. So thank you again. Have a good night.